Welcome back to Call for Help. You know, we've been talking about home upgrades. It's Digital Digs Week, right? And we thought we'd go out with a bang, so we gave Roger an assignment, he could not refuse, to build his own home arcade machine. It's done, and Roger's here to show us how he pulled it off. Now, you could go out, couldn't you, and buy one of these? I mean, they don't sell them, but
they actually do still sell them. If you go to eBay, a lot of people are either selling these types of cocktail tables or the traditional upright arcade machines.
That's a huge hobby area.
It's a huge hobby area, and in fact, there's people that make their livelihood repairing those machines for people today.
The problem with that is, you first of all, you get the original, so it might be a little banged up, but also it only plays one game.
Plays only one game, and, you know, once you're bored of it, then it's kind of like
you're done.
You're kind of done.
So Roger's going to go the other way. We're actually going to take a PC, right, that can play any game and put it inside a cocktail table enclosure.
Exactly, and what I did was basically use MAME, the multi-arcade machine emulator, which basically emulates almost every arcade game ever made.
So this is going to be a PC running Windows?
Running Windows, or if you want, you can run it on Linux, run it on Mac OS, or run it in DOS.
But then MAME is running is a program.
It's a program, but it emulates the hardware of those machines. So when the software, the ROM, sees it, it's, oh, I'm running on the machine I'm supposed to, and it runs accordingly. So your fire buttons, your sound, your graphics all look exactly like they did back in the arcade. The only difference is you're not stuck in an arcade blowing tens of dollars, getting quarters or tokens, which are worse.
Why do that when you can blow hundreds of dollars to build your own? But
if you think about it, you blow hundreds of dollars over a month, over a year.
That's not the point. The point is it's in your house. You have the gang over. You're playing cards. You're watching TV, and you've got this.
Yeah.
How many games can we play on here?
I currently have roughly about, say, 800.
What? Oh, like all the classic games?
All the classic games. Some of them are doubles because they're also Japanese and European versions. So.
Now, we should say that not all of these are this. It's just like that music sharing thing.
Yes.
Some of these are still copyright. The copyright holders. So there are some legitimate ones and there's some illegal ones.
There are legitimately public domain MAME ROMs. The only thing is you have to actually search for it. So you do a search on Google for public domain MAME ROMs.
And the chances are the ones you want to play
will not be
on public domain. All right. So we won't belabor this. This is MAME running. It's running in Windows.
This is MAME right now.
Okay.
And of course, you know, none of this is going to look or feel exactly the same unless you get the cabinet.
Yes.
And this cabinet is a very interesting find because when I was looking for one, people were selling fully made MAME units with the PC, monitor, hard drive, everything, including some of them, including the games, but they're selling like $3,500.
Whoa, that's a lot.
That's more than my annual budget.
So you just bought, what did you do? You just bought the cabinet?
I bought the cabinet from a guy named Scott over at arcadedepot.com, and the cool thing is that he's really open to suggestions for customization. Originally, they make the panels right here at the ends for control boxes for actual arcade joysticks.
Right.
So you would actually have to buy the joystick and the button separately and then wire them separately into the key. But that's all
that's for the true authentic, the guy who wants to make it.
That's for the true feeling, and that's if you have a lot of time, which I did. So I went on and actually picked up an X-Arcade Solo Stick, about 99 bucks.
This is just a joystick replacement that you can buy for the PC.
And I told Scott, I want to do this. All right, I'll make a mount for it. So on top, so this whole kit, 995 bucks, $99.
And it mounts on this shelf.
It mounts on the shelf. Very easy to use, very easy to build. It takes a couple of tools. Just want a standard clamp.
That's for what?
That's to hold the piece while I glue or screw it in.
Okay. So this is a kit. You do have to do some gluing.
It does. It is a kit, but let me just say this. I'm not a carpenter. My dad's a structural engineer, but I'm not a carpenter.
Right.
I hate power tools except for my power drill, which is another piece that you need. I actually managed to complete this in roughly 16 hours.
16 hours. You did it here on the studio on the floor. You need a clamp, a drill, a power drill, and anything else?
I used a mallet because...
Here's Roger working.
Because as you can see, it's in pieces, and as this uses a dowel set, basically wood pins, and pre-drilled holes that you glue together. You got to persuade some of the pieces to fit. Now,
so a rubber mallet.
A rubber mallet. You do not want to use a hammer because you're going to mar the surface. And preferably, you're going to put a piece. I use a block of wood, so I don't even mar this with a mallet. And I can actually do a nice even force on the entire surface without hitting one into it.
I think
is that Craig doing the shooting there?
That's Craig doing the shooting.
I can hear his voice.
Yeah. We were actually talking about a lot of different things about this and some of the issues with it.
Ow! Get it off! Sorry.
You got to be careful because I did that earlier.
Did you?
But
it's a nice earring.
It's great. Now let me.
Okay, so let's open it up. I want to see the inside here.
Let's take the.
We'll take this apple box and put it down there. We're going to rest this on here.
We're going to rest it on here.
Now, would you normally screw this down or just?
This is. I normally would. Actually, I'm probably going to think about unscrewing it off the hinge.
It's kind of nice to be able to get in here.
It's nice to get in here. I'm going to probably take this off and actually put like a little shelf so it just sits on like a shoebox top.
Now, what computer hardware did you use?
Well, right now I'm using a Dell Optiplex machine that we use for
just a standard PC.
PC, but it's short and low enough that if you notice, I can sit it under the monitor without having any clearance issues.
Now, is this a normal monitor or something
Believe
special?
it or not, if you reach around, you actually
Hold that.
I got that. It's the bezel from an old Gateway 19-inch monitor.
Oh.
I took
You
the
just took
bezel.
the-
I took
you
the
just took the
bezel.
plastic off.
I took the plastic off on the front and the back, and as you notice, it still has a metal cage.
That's to protect you, and you should always be careful opening monitors.
It's actually to protect the parts from people like me who might go in and touch something and either
kill yourself,
myself or damage the monitor, and I go screaming again.
So we've got, and then you got a keyboard on the other side, so you still have full access to the
I
computer.
have full access to Windows and anything that I want to access. And I put up one simple PC speaker because
that's the sound.
90% of these games are mono anyway.
You know, it's funny. It sounds so realistic. It sounds just like the real thing. Obviously, when they did it, they didn't do much differently.
No, and it's very simple.
Let's start her up.
So I can start her up.
So MAME is running now.
It's running.
Is it gonna? Oh, and it's also doing it this way. It's doing it like
I can set MAME up to basically rotate the screen. Normally, it would be this way with the bars on either side, but since we're looking at it this way, it rotates and fills the entire screen.
I'm going to press the button instead of inserting
So all the keys are mapped for quarters, first person to start, and you can play just as you would back in the arcade.
It looks like it looks just like the real thing. I don't know if you can get the idea here.
And once you're done playing, you can still use this as a fondue table, as a appetizer table, and people are going to say, "Cool table, you got like a video game underneath it." And it says, "Yeah, it's my my little."
How do you do that? But now, if you get bored with Commando though, you can play any.
I can play
Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Joust,
I can play
any other
anything
game.
that Darcy left to me a few years back.
Darcy Wood gave us a MAME CD collection of hundreds of games, but you can download many of them on the internet as well.
Again, do a search on public domain ROMs and you'll be able to find it. Again, Scott did a lot of helped me a lot on this because I was personally new to the whole thing, and he basically walked me through it.
Well, let's give him credit. Scott is at
ArcadeDepot.com.
ArcadeDepot.com.
And one of the things to point out is he didn't recommend an LCD because some of these games run at a very odd resolution that LCDs don't support.
So you do want, but this is exactly what they use in the game. They use a CRT.
Only thing I would add is a bezel that I can buy separately that would fill in the gaps, and then a little insert that would say like Galaxian or Miss Pac-Man to get the real feel.
I kind of like this. This is oak and stained oak.
It's stained oak. Basic kit $9.95, glass $60 to $100, and Scott will customize for you. Just tell him what you want.
I need the grenade. There, got him. Oh, this is so much fun. Roger's all of his instructions, details, tips, things he wished he did differently, all on the website techtv.com. Oh man, /call for help.
They didn't waste.